Alrighty, what's going on, everybody? My name is Incoming, and this will be the first debut of my channel and my account. Just wanted to go over a quick few things, just go over my commanders, gear, armaments, all the basic stuff, just so everyone can kind of get a good idea of what they're working with, so they know what they're looking at and all that kind of stuff. And as you can see, it's pretty obvious. I'm a Cav main. You can see four of my top powered commanders are five of my top powered commanders are cavalry. So yes, I'm very much a cav main. My best set of gear is a cavalry set. I don't have the KVK helmet or KVK sword on this set simply because I've prioritized getting other things with my conquest coins previously. I do have the KVK helmet, and I have two blueprints of it, so I'm going to start working towards either... I haven't decided if I want to crit the helmet or if I want to just go ahead and tier it up first. I'm always kind of split on what I want to do with that kind of stuff. But my main set, as you can see, full crit besides accessories, tier 4, everything besides boots and accessories. I'm not too worried about tearing up my boots anymore, just because it's just march speed and more march speed. So it's... Oh, they changed it. 5% march speed and 1% defense while outside of Alliance territory. They must have just recently changed that, because I don't remember there being any extra defense on there before. I remember it was just even more march speed. So that might actually be something viable to get now. But I'm looking at tiering up both of my accessories some more to get tier 4 at the very least. I've got two ring blueprints, so might get that before KVK, but I'm probably more than likely gonna tier up most of the main gear up to tier 5 first, just because I get more stats out of those. And something like this is real nice. So as you can see, 4-piece set bonus on the Hellish Wasteland set. Lots of cavalry health, all the good stuff down here, all the extra base stats with extra iconic tier stats, extra troop health, unit capacity, health ignored, nice 7.5% damage to troops on the map, extra 3,800 unit capacity, and obviously Nevsky is expertise. And then on to my infantry set, which is quite frankly my second best set. Got crit everything besides dagger accessory. I still haven't gotten the infantry shield yet. I've been putting that off and contemplating whether or not I just want to skip to getting the Hammer of Sun and Moon. But yeah, I might go with the infantry shield just so I can get the 2-piece set bonus. Get a nice little extra 3% defense is nice. And I have started to tier up the boots for infantry just so I can get some of that march speed, because they are slow. And let me tell you, cavalry, yeah, definitely way faster than anything else on the field, unfortunately. So when I'm fighting in a murder ball, my cavalry will be all the way up front, and they'll be like looping around to the sides and all that kind of garbage, and it's a pain. So I'm looking at tearing up my infantry and archer boots so I can get some of that extra march speed. But otherwise, nice bunch of infantry defense, a little bit of health from the blue shield. Definitely lacking in the accessories overall on this account. I've focused mostly on the gear sets in general. A little bit of unit capacity, nice infantry base stats, all that kind of good stuff. And then, as you can see, purple accessories, but full legendary equipment other than weapons. I primarily am lacking in the weapon slots and accessory slots for all of my gear, but the majority of all my gear is also iconic, tier 1 at the very least, so I get some of those, get some nice base stats, overall good stats all around. And then Zuge, I went with the full Dragon Breath set just because I'm not an archer main, so I'm not gonna micro optimize the stats for my archers. I get a nice spread of stats on here with some base stats as well. Crit forged my boots and took 2 tries to refine the gloves. So I've got some nice little bit of extra stats on there. A little bit of extra defense, a little bit of extra attack, some extra base stats. And then obviously full Dragon Breath set of extra troop attack, skill damage, and archer health, which is nice. And then my final march, I like to use Justinian just because since I'm a Cav main, I really focused on trying to get my Cav rally kind of where it needed to be, and also now I've got Yanzitska and Heraclius where they need to be, both expertise, so I can be flexible with what the kingdom needs at any given time while we're fighting and all that kind of stuff. As you can see, I don't have iconics on either of these, but nice little 2-piece set bonus with extra health and extra counterattack damage, some base stats, really nice defense and health on my Justinian. And the normal setup that I run is I'll run Nevsky with Joan, the usual, Huo with William, the usual, Scipio Prime with Liu Che, one of the usuals, and then Zuge Liang with Herman Prime. And last but not least, I like, with my Justinian, I'll switch it up with running YSG or Ethelfled. Ethelfled still does pretty good even in Season of Conquest, I've noticed. My Justinian with Ethelfled isn't always like my best trading march by any means, but I usually still trade about 1-to-1 with them whenever they don't get, targeted down like most of my marches do whenever I'm out in the field. My account's still too young to have tons and tons of stuff, expertise. Like, I do have XY down here somewhere. There he is. Yeah, he's only 1-1-1-1. 8 sculptures on him. I've been primarily focusing on getting Attila expertise so I can use him in rallies and garrisons if needed. And obviously artifact KVKs. So he's getting there. Might get lucky and get another 6 sculptures and get him to 5551. So yeah, that is the basic rundown of the commanders and my gear. And my armament sets are pretty decent. My main cavalry armament set, I'll be switching out this one, this 3.5% attack for vitality, an extra 3.5% health eventually. I'm working on transmutating this, as you can see, 7 out of 10. So cavalry defense, already got that on there. Hopefully I can roll some more cav attack and cav health, because comparison, definitely already getting more cavalry defense, which is nice, trading off the attack for even more health, which is phenomenal. So overall, this will be already is much better than this, but I'm just keeping this simply because it does have more stats until I can finish transmutating this. So as you can see, you've got Unstoppable, extra 5% skill damage, and Hunter, another 5% skill damage, 3.5% attack, and 3.5% health. So looking at 16% health, 9% defense, 11% extra attack, and then a little bit of march speed, which I don't really care too much for the march speed on the cavalry. It is what it is. Doesn't really help very much, but it is nice. And then my infantry set, nice, almost 9% extra stats of each across the board. Obviously still got some transmutating to do since I've got archer attack on there. But nice little 8% bonus to all types of skill damage for 3 seconds, and then takes 1.5% less damage is nice. It's nothing super crazy or fancy. And then on my Huo, I've got Bellicose, which is nice. Boiling Blood is really nice, extra 2% skill damage. War Flames, 1% damage. And then Elite, Another 1% extra damage. Not the greatest amount of stats. A lot of it needs to still be transmutated. Got a little bit of all damage, a nice bit of cav health, a little bit of defense, a little bit of attack. Not the worst ever. My archer set still is a work in progress, but got 10% of defense and attack with an extra 3.5 defense on top of it. And what's really nice is I've gotten a little bit of march speed on my archers because they are by far the slowest troop type that I have. My Zuge is always the last one to end up into battle. But then you got a little bit of archer health, a little bit of all damage, which is nice. One of these, I'll eventually be finishing this off and replacing it with this. I'll lose some archer attack, but that's not the end of the world. Hopefully I can transmutate this to get some more archer health, which is going to be huge, but an extra 1% damage, and then 2.5% extra counterattack damage of all types will be really nice, because, you know, Zuge is one of the primary targets to get swarmed down no matter what. I know I target him all the time whenever I see him or Herman, or any archers in general, including Boudica, Asher. I'm always swarming him down because I'm running around with 3 cav marches. Then last but not least, on my Justinian, I've got a little bit of extra damage, normal damage resistance, nice little extra counterattack damage, which is nice since Justinian is one of those commanders that does normally get targeted and swarmed down, and then a nice little 3.5% defense. Still need some transmutating done on some of these armaments. Like his, got some archer defense sitting here, troop load. Really don't need that. But do have a nice 1.5% all damage, which is really nice. Helps him do a little bit more damage out on the field. And yeah, those are all of the armament sets that I currently have. If I ever decide to run with a second infantry march, I'll probably do something like Guan Scipio and then Liuche Alex. So I do have a decent little arch formation set here with little 5% bonus march speed, extra defense, and then extra 2% damage to surrounded troops, and you can see a nice little bit of attack, defense, and health. Still got some transmutating to do, obviously. Still got a lot of that to do on a lot of my armaments, but still my account's fairly young, so I've got a long ways to go still. Then my Attila, I've got a decent little hollow square set going on here with extra 10% attack possibility, and then takes 1% less damage, which is really nice, especially whenever I'll use him to rally, especially cities, and if he's getting swarmed. If he gets swarmed, because you know most people know not to try and swarm an Attila. But got a good amount of cav health there. Got a little bit of attack, nice little bit of defense. And I think that's pretty much all of my setups. I'm currently working on Eleanor, getting her up. Got a nice little bit of sculptures into her right now. Hopefully, my goal is to have her expertise for this next KVK that we're going into, so I can utilize her. Otherwise, I do have Yanzitska expertise, Heraclius expertise. Currently working on finishing up Tariq and Scipio Aemilianus as well. So, since I've got some really good infantry gear, so I'm kind of one of the kingdom's backup infantry rally players currently. And I wouldn't mind being an infantry garrison if I ever do decide to work on Gorgo, because I do have her. As you can see, I've got pretty much all of the commanders. But she's definitely not in a place to be used right now. 3-1-1-1, definitely not good. So the only commanders I don't have is Wu Zetian and then Lu Bu and Dao Chan, which these two obviously will never be able to get. Wu Zetian I don't really care to get other than one of these days, just so I can get that get the 10 gold head bundle, which would be nice. I mean, that's really the only reason why I have a lot of these commanders is simply to get the little $5 bundle, which is really nice. I mean, 10 gold heads for $5, you really cannot beat that value. That's probably, in my opinion, one of the best bundles in the entire game for the value that you get out of it. Any good city skins? Just a lot of the base generic ones that we get from events. I've got I pushed a little bit and got the 30-day Archer, the Zenith skin. So if for whatever reason I ever need to do Archer stuff, I've got a 30-day city skin that I can play around with. But I don't think I'll ever really be in the position for that. But otherwise, yeah, I've just got a whole bunch of basic city skins. I got that Beginning of the Kingdom Hidden Lotus city skin where you have to get 1.5 million power within like a week or some of the kingdom starting or something like that. Got a whole bunch of different little city skins here that I can kind of take advantage of whenever I need to for something. Like if I'm doing infantry stuff, I've got infantry health or infantry defense, archer attack, archer health. So really I've got whatever tiny little bit of extra stats that are needed whenever the occasion may arise. Currently sitting at 92, almost 92.5 million power. My highest was almost 96.5 mil. 13.5 million deads. My kill points almost to 5 billion. 143.5 million T5s, 195.5 million T4s, some scattered T1s, T1 through 3s from swarming and zeroing cities and all that kind of stuff. Saving up to do some probably iconic tier upgrades on my cavalry gear on the next Alliance mobilization event. Try and pop one of those large forging quests. And you can see I've got a little bit of farming legendary gear, including one piece that I crit forged, go figure. And I've got tons and tons of blueprints to work with, so ideally I really just need materials at this point because I've got so much stuff to work with still. Even the free-to-play stuff that you pull from Crystal Keys, even though it's really not the direction I want to go. Lots of blueprint shards. No iconic crystals, because again, with my account, this will be my 7th KVK coming up. So I'm still definitely very limited on the iconic crystal side of things. Armaments and everything. Speed ups, I'm still kind of hurting in. I'm trying to save up as much as I possibly can to do a Zenith push, which I definitely need a ton more. I've got maybe just shy of 2 years worth currently, so I need to really push and try and build this up even more for the upcoming Zenith of Power that should be coming around maybe in the next 3 or 4 months, which all of this is accumulation of about 2 months worth. So I think I can get to where I need to be to pull off a Zenith push in the continent that we're in 1821, which is where my account is at. Resources, I've got tons of extra VIP points because I am VIP 18, so I really have nothing to do with these VIP points anymore other than just let them sit here and stew. I've got probably a good... I always end up using the gray and green resource tokens just because I don't like seeing them in my inventory, so they're really low compared to what they were just after we got out of KVK. Yeah, I just don't like seeing the green or gray resource tokens. I don't know why. Just a little pet peeve, weird little pet peeve of mine. So I always end up using those, but got plenty of blues and purples. And overall, I've got, I think, close to like 3 billion of each resources in the bag, including, if I wanted to do 3 billion of each, including the pick ones and all that kind of stuff. And I've got 3.8 million crystals ready for the next KVK. So hopefully I see you guys in the next one, and thanks for checking it out.